Welcome everyone to Advent of Code with Pandas. My name is Teddy Petru, and this is where I showcase lots of advanced, interesting, and unique tricks with the Pandas data analysis library. This will be day 3 of the 2022 version of Advent of Code. Let's go ahead and take a look at the data. Our job here is to find the letter that appears in both halves of the string. So there's one string per line. There's one letter that appears in both the first half and last half. We need to find that letter. All right, let's go ahead and read in the data. There really isn't a trick here. We will just use the squeeze method in order to create a series and not a data frame. And so in order to get the half, first of all, I'm going to extract each half of the string as its own series. And the way to do that is, unfortunately, with the apply method, I don't like to use this method if I can avoid it. This is only if you have to write a very customized function. So what this is going to do is going to apply this function. It's going to go through every single string and apply this function. So x here is that string. We will slice it to the length of x divided by 2 integer division. So this will get you half of the string. So let me just show you what this looks like. So that is how you get exactly half of each string. And then I'm going to do this get dummies method. And get dummies, what it does is it converts each of these into its own column. So each letter, because we're saying this is the separating character, there's no separation here. So it's going to turn each of these into a character and then, into a column, and then make a matrix out of this, a 0, 1 matrix, whether or not it is in the string or not. So let me just show you what this looks like. So you can see here, for instance, F does appear in the string, so it gets a 1. J appears there, it gets a 1 as well. All the others are zeros. So it's going to return this 0, 1 matrix, 1 for every row. Here's all the possible letters that appear. Notice that some letters don't even appear at all, like A. Pandas actually will sort this for you. So this is a pretty cool method here, this get dummies. So the second half is gotten the exact same way, except we just slice from the middle to the end. That's half 2. Now, how do we find the letters that are in common? Well, we're just going to multiply these two. So if I look at half 2, I'm just going to multiply half 1 times half 2. And the only one that should remain as 1 is where they are in common. Everywhere else will be 1 times 0 or 0 times 0. So let's go ahead and do this. And you can see here that there'll only be one per row. Everything else should be 0. There's some hidden columns over here. That's why you don't see it over here. But R is the only letter that appears in both halves of the string. Now, how do I extract that? Well, I can take the IDX max, so the index max of each row. So what IDX max does, will go through every row at a time. It'll find the maximum value, 1, and it'll return the index of that. So R. So let's go ahead and show this. So you can see here, there's the index. The second one we can't see because it's hidden, but let's look at the third is H. You can see here, the other one, or really the index 2 over here, is H, then H over here again. D is hidden, but you can see that's how you can, this is the trick to get that. The last step, which I haven't mentioned, is to convert these letters to numbers 1 through 52. So A through Z, lowercase, is 1 through 26, and capital A through capital Z is 27 through 52. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to just create this letter mapping, and I'm going to import the ASCII letters. So I'll show you, ASCII letters is just a single string of letters, A through Z. So if you want to see that, I'll just go ahead and print that out. And I'm just going to create a dictionary here that maps each one. So this is in the string library. So this is a library that comes with Python as part of the standard library. And then all we have to do is, I've duplicated the work here. All I have to do is replace all those letters with their numeric value, and then the answer requires us to sum it up, and so that's how I finish 3A. All right, moving on to 3B. Instead of looking at the first half and the second half, we're going to look at the first 3 rows. So every 3 rows is considered a group. So there's only going to be one letter that's in common in these 3 rows. Now, so I need to group these together somehow. And actually, this is the final solution. I will walk through it over here. But we're going to use a group by. And in order to get the groups, we will do this trick like this. And just divide the index. So if you look at the index, it's just the numbers from 0, and it's easier to see. Actually, you know what? I'll just delete this. You can see here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I do integer division with 3, it will get me some nice groupings like that. So that's a trick to get the groups. I'm going to then do the same get dummies method for this. And as you can see here, so it just puts us all in one group. I'm going to apply this get dummies to all of them, to these 3 right here. So this is just this is like the first group. And then I'm going to multiply vertically down each group. So I'm going to call dot prod. There should be only one letter that is, you can't really see it. So let me just do hopefully all of them. There should be only one letter that is number 1 over here. This is actually starting the second group. That's why you see another 1 over here. But there'll be one letter that's 1 because it's only one that has 1, 1, and 1 that can be multiplied together to get 1 in the result. So that's how you get that. And then again, I'm going to use that same trick, IDX max. So I'm going to find the index of the maximum of this group. So here's the index over here. And in this particular one, it is letter Z, as you can see here, 1, 1, 1. That's the only one that appears in each one. And then the last thing is just to do that replace again over here with the letter map like this. So I get the numeric, and then we just have to sum this thing up, and we get our final result, which is correct. All right, so I'm going to show you one other way to do this. And it's a slightly different way. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to I'm going to convert each of these to sets. Okay, so it might be easier to see this. So each row is a set. I'm then going to group every third, just like I did before previously. And then I'm going to call an apply function and our method on this. So for every group, for these 3 groups, this is a little bit difficult to understand what's going on. I'm going to use this reduce function from functools. So I'm going to pass in each of these 3. So X is this array of these 3 sets into the reduce, and I'm going to use the AND operator. So the set AND operation. So if you're familiar with that, that's how you do intersection. And so it'll continually do intersection for however many are in my group. There are 3 in my group. It will keep reducing it until there's 1 value left, which I will unpack into the ASCII letters find method. So it'll find where it is in here, that one letter that's in common. I will have to add 1 to it because of indexing starts at 0 in Python. And that's what I will return, and then I will sum that up. So this is just another way of getting it. All right, so lots of really clever maneuvering here with Pandas on day 3. Again, this is pretty advanced. You'll need to already know the fundamentals of using Pandas in order to understand these tricks. But hopefully just seeing this, and then you can work through it on your own. I do provide the link to these notebooks in the description, so you can kind of get a better idea by downloading these notebooks and working through them on your own, on your own computer. All right, so if you enjoyed this trick, I think you'll really like my book, Master Data Analysis with Python. It comes with 500 exercises in Pandas, many hours of video lessons, and certification exams on many different parts of the library. So you can really, learn Pandas at an expert level and, understand how these tricks work. All right, that's it for day 3.